Hello everyone, this is Will here from Singletrack magazine. We're here at Eurobike 2018. I'm in the Scott Sport booth again. We're going to talk to you about the 2019 Scott Genius, which we've got here behind me. 4 models here, 4 models at the back here. Now, fundamentally, the Genius platform doesn't have any huge changes. The frame does remain the same. The suspension travel remains the same with 150mm on the front, 150mm on the back. There is a new rear shock, and this has got a pretty cool little gizmo that I want to give you a closer look at. Now, Fox and Scott worked together on this shock. It's called the Nude shock. This is a new version. This model is called the Nude TR. Now, for 2019, the shock volume actually gets bigger. That's both the negative and the positive springs. So Scott are chasing even more of a linear kind of suspension feel. Overall, the suspension design does provide a little bit of progression. They want to create a really plush and smooth travel feel to the back of the Genius. What's cool on this bike, though, is if you look really closely, there is now an external lever on the shock. This is called Ramp Plus, and it's basically a 2-position lever that allows you to externally adjust the volume of the rear shock. Now, traditionally, what you'd have to do is you'd have to depressurize the shock, take it off the bike, open up the air can, and put spaces in or take spaces out if you want to change the volume of the shock. Why would you want to do that? More volume equals a more linear stroke to the travel. Less volume equals more progressive feel to the travel. What this lever does is it basically reduces that need to change spaces around, and it gives you 2 positions. You've got linear and progressive. The idea being that you can actually change the shock behavior depending on where you're riding. So if you're riding a trail that has lots of big jumps and drops where you need the suspension to be supportive, you can put it in that progressive setting, so you're going to get more bottom-out support, so you're less likely to run through the travel completely. But then if you're riding more, say you're doing more trail riding where you're not necessarily getting the wheels off the ground and you want a really plush feel and you want to use all of the travel, then you can flick it into that linear setting. So that's a really neat little device there on the new Nude shock on the 2019 Genius. A few other changes. We've got wider bars for 2019, so a little bit more width on there, and we'll give you a bit of a closer look at the refined twin lock lever as well. So you've still got the 3-position suspension adjustment, so twin lock gives you open, traction, and a closed setting as well. That's full lockout there. And then you've got the release trigger there. The whole remote has been refined considerably though, so we've got a nice little traction pad here. It's better integrated. It's all about making that more comfortable for your thumb and easier to reach. A smaller detail here is the dropper post lever. This is a Fox transfer dropper post lever. It's closer now to the twin lock, so your thumb doesn't have to reach up as far to get to that lever. It's a little bit closer now between the two, so it gives you a little bit easier access to that dropper post lever. Really small refinement. You're not going to be able to see in this video, but the tension bolt for adjusting the clamp has also been adjusted where that position sits, so it's a little bit easier to rotate the whole thing too. So a few small changes on the 2019 Genius from Scott Sports. Let us know what you think about the changes, and particularly that little Ramp Plus progression lever, which is very, very neat indeed. All right, thanks guys. Tooroo.